My name is Althea Rosales, and you are listening to ANTIPODWISE. Before I start this episode, I just want to say that my heart goes out to all of the people that are affected in the LA fires. And I also wanted to say that although I say that right now, in no way am I qualified to speak on behalf of everyone affected. I live in SAC, and while we have been affected by fires in the past, it doesn't mean that we are, affected by the fire now because obviously, we're 6 hours from LA. So we're not qualified to speak on behalf of you guys. And then so if I ever wanted to make an episode, then what I would do is I would, take someone that has been affected by the LA fires and have them speak on here. But for now, I just want to dedicate this episode to, getting serious for a bit and providing some resources and just shedding light on what this means for the rest of the year. First of all, I just want to start by saying, obviously, like my heart goes out to you guys. I know, I can only imagine how hard it is to have lost everything, whether it be your house, your most prized possessions, your way of life. I know that some people might have lost their lives in the fire, and then so my condolences go out, to all the families that may have to deal with a loss that is caused by the fire. Maybe, you guys had a hard time, just evacuating and coming to terms with the fact that you might lose everything. And although I haven't personally lost everything in a wildfire, my hearts go out to you guys. Before I start, I just want to, just like set aside some time to, just reiterate that no matter, your upbringing, I've seen comments on TikTok and Instagram that say, oh, it's God's judgment because Hollywood is inherently evil and demonic. And I believe in God, but I don't want to bring religion into the equation right now. What I can say is if you're making those comments, then now is not the time because whatever you believe about Hollywood, whatever you believe about the people of LA, whether or not they're Democrat, LGBT, whether or not, they're evil, they're demonic, you have to realize that the people of LA, they're not just celebrities, they're not just, celebrities that might act, demonic in a way. They are actual real people. I have a lot of friends at Berkeley that are from LA and, their families, even if they don't go to my school, I know that their families have been affected by the LA fires. And then so to make that comment that, it is God's judgment, real talk, it shows the lack of empathy you have for these people. And um, I would greatly appreciate if, and, by extension, the people of LA that are affected, um, I feel like they would greatly appreciate if, you just kept those comments to yourself and, just realizing that, there is more than just, God's punishment. And even if you're not making those comments, if you're making comments such as, oh, like the people of LA are rich, they can always rebuild, just know that, the people of LA, they're not all rich. They're not all rich celebrities. I know, sometimes we like to make LA, synonymous with like Hollywood and like celebrities and like rich people. And even I am guilty of doing this whenever I have a friend from LA. I would always say, hey, like, oh, so you're rich, rich then, which obviously isn't the case because some people have been born and raised in LA. So that, doesn't necessarily mean that they're rich kids. Some of them might have, worked harder than other people to be able to live in LA. And then so to say that, oh, like, they can always rebuild, that isn't always true. I know my friend is setting up a, GoFundMe so that they can rebuild. That's definitely not a sign that they can rebuild easily. And then I know that people are, getting their insurance revoked. I know insurance companies are pulling out of the area because, oh, that like the LA fires are like way too expensive. So, maybe they might have been pulled out of the area, which, not a surprise, greatly affects a lot of families in the area. And then so, making that comment, I don't think it is the best time for it. What I suggest you do, and what I've been learning to do is, just show some empathy whenever someone is affected by the fires, the best thing you can do is either, just sit there and listen and not say anything at all, or, the best thing you can say is like, wow, I didn't even imagine. I'm really sorry. And, offer to help if you can. If there are any GoFundMe's, if you have the means to do it, I would suggest donating. And yeah, that's one thing you can do to help, your friends and family in LA that are struggling. I'm going to go through the resources and information. And if you are in LA and you've been affected by the fires, here are some valuable resources and reminders that you should know. The list goes: conserve water. Firefighters are using urban water supplies to fight those fires. So obviously, LA doesn't really have. I'm not gonna say it has a good. I'm not gonna say it doesn't have a good water system, but um, when I was driving to LA, I was taught in school that, oh, like there's an aqueduct that takes, all the water, from, I believe it was NorCal, correct me if I'm wrong. But they take all that water and they deliver that to LA, and that's what the people of LA, drink and use on a daily basis. And the reason why they can't get, water from the ocean is because it's salty. So make sure you're conserving water, and if you can, please try to stock up on bottled water if you can, and make a to go bag in events that you need to evacuate. So basically, like making sure you have a disaster kit on hand. I know my RA always told me, hey, like go make a disaster bag in case, there's a fire in your building. So you guys really need to make sure you get that on hand. It should contain at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable foods and 3 gallons of water per person, a map with at least 2 evacuation routes, necessary prescriptions and medications, change of clothes and extra eyeglasses and contact lenses, extra car keys, credit cards, and cash. And first aid kit with sanitation supplies, a flashlight and batteries, a battery powered radio, copies of important documents, pet food and water if you have pets. And then for those that are affected by the Eaton fire, Pasadena drinking water is impacted. So please do not drink tap water or use tap water for cooking, and use bottled water. For fire location and size, go to www.frontlinewildfire.com/California-wildfire-map for live updates of the fire. I know that, probably, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but as of the recording of this episode, the fire is still 0% contained. So make sure you are referring to that map. Areas under evacuation warning and order. If you have an iPhone, you probably received the evacuation warning or the evacuation order in your notifications. But in case you didn't, go to cbsnews.com/news/California-fire-maps-palisades-Eaton-Hearst 2025, and it says refer to this website for fire perimeter and evacuation zones. The provided websites have live updates on fire size, perimeter, and evacuation maps. So those are the main resources that you guys need to use. And then free discounted food. I know you've seen some posts on Insta that have said, oh, like, some restaurants are offering like free food. I know some people that, are not affiliated with those restaurants are also giving free food. And honestly, props to them. Like, God bless you. But if you don't know where to get free food, Calamigos Ranch at 26025 Pacific Coast Highway, Highland Park Brewery at 12020 North Spring Street, Sushi Kisen at 1108 South Baldwin Avenue, Bar Siniski at 3147 Glendale Boulevard, Crush Station at 468 North Bedford Drive, Fat and Flour at 11739 Washington Boulevard, Lowboy at 1540 Sunset Boulevard, and much, much more. So I'm going to provide those in the ANTIPODWISE bio. I know that this is a really long list, but please refer to these lists if you are affected by the fire. For shelters, we have Westwood Recreation Center, which I believe is near UCLA. It is at 1350 South Sepulveda Boulevard, Pasadena Civic Auditorium at 300 East Green Street, El Camino Real Charter High School at 5440 Valley Circle Boulevard, Richie Valens Recreation Center at 10736 Laurel Canyon Boulevard, Sepulveda Recreation Center at 8825 Kester Avenue, and much, much more. And in the list it says the Westwood accommodates small pets, allowing families to stay close to their animals. The Pasadena Civic Auditorium offers a secure and spacious environment for evacuees, and El Camino Charter High School, it's a key location for residents in the western San Fernando Valley. So in case you live there, that's one of the places that you should go to if ever you receive an evacuation order. I should also note that Airbnb is partnering with I believe it's 211 LA to provide, free housing just for evacuees. So if you are affected and if you need to evacuate, then Airbnb is an excellent option for you. In case of animal shelters, there's small animal shelters such as the Agora Animal Care Center at 29525 Agora Road, the Baldwin Park Animal Care Center at 4275 Elton Street, the Carson Animal Care Center at 216 West Victoria Street, the Castaic Animal Care Center at 31044 Charlie Canyon Road. For large animal shelters, we have the Lancaster Animal Care Center at 5210 West Avenue, the Industry Hills Expo at 16200 Temple Avenue, and the Pomona Fairplex, which is 1101 West McKinley Avenue. The Pomona Fair the Pomona Fairplex is a good location if you ever have a horse. And then if you don't have a car for transportation, Uber is offering a $40 credit to get evacuees to a fire shelter using the code WILDFIRE25. For Lyft, it's a $25 voucher valid for 2 trips to 500 customers from now until midnight, January 15th, using code CA Fire Relief 25. Again, for Uber, it's Wildfire25, all capitals, and then CA Fire Relief 25. And then for housing, Airbnb, again, as I said before, it's partnering with 211 LA. Airbnb will offer free temporary housing for evacuees, which could be found in the link in our bio, and the Queen Mary in Long Beach. So they provide pricing rooms for fire evacuees at $189, and it includes voucher for a breakfast buffet for 2 people. And then they also waive, pet and historical preservation fees. And then Big Bear, so collection of vacation homes and hotels, has been created for the needs of evacuees. And then Visit Anaheim. People affected by wildfires can visit this website to find special hotel offers and assistance. So the links will all be in our bio at ANTIPODWISE on Insta. And then for utilities, AT&T is offering wildfire areas unlimited data, talk, and text through February 6th. Verizon will waive call, text, and data charges for customers in harvest hit areas. And they're also deploying free Wi-Fi and charging stations at Westwood Recreation Center, El Camino Real Charter High School, Oxnard College, Pasadena Convention Center, and World Vision will be distributing relief supplies at Calvary Baptist Church at 12928 Vaughn Street in San Fernando. Supplies include food, water, face masks, toys, hygiene kits, and then bedding and more. And then for government aid, so FEMA is for homeowners affecting the ongoing Palisades, Eaton, Kenneth, or other SoCal wildfires are encouraged to apply as soon as possible. And you can submit applications at their website. And then businesses can apply for loans up to $2 million. Homeowners can apply for up to $500K to repair or replace damaged or destroyed real estate. Homeowners and renters are also eligible for up to $100K to repair or replace damaged or destroyed personal property. And you can apply in their website. For health, Planet Fitness is offering evacuees and first responders free access to their facilities. Crunch Gym will open 20 locations across LA. For any evacuees or first responders that need to shower, recharge phones, or rest. And then Echo Hair Studio, that is 1017 El Centro Street, South Pasadena, will offer free hair washes for those affected by the fires. For pet care, Bath and Buns Mobile Pet Grooming and Vetster is offering complimentary bath services for cats and dogs affected by the fires, and free telehealth appointments for pets affected by fires. And Vetster is available for up to 500 pet owners till January 23rd. For activities for children, Peterson Automotive Museum is open to students for free during school closures and valid for all students enrolled in districts impacted by closures. And then this doc also includes how to help. So American Red Cross will be supporting communities in need, staffing evacuation centers, and providing supplies. World Central Kitchen will be providing sandwiches and water through the SoCal region. LA First Department Foundation has asked for donations to its wildfire emergency funds. LA Regional Food Bank is accepting food donations and volunteers. California Fire Foundation is working with local fire departments and community orgs to support impacted residents financially. League of California Community Foundation's funds goes towards helping those affected to rebuild homes, restore lost belongings, and providing support services such as mental health management. Anderson Munger Family YMCA is seeking donations for food, snacks, water, and essential emergency supplies. International Medical Corps has been coordinating with local help groups to deliver relief supplies. Best Friends Animal Society runs a pet adoption center in West LA. And Direct Relief is bringing emergency healthcare supplies to community clinics, evac centers, and local residents affected by fires. So they are providing N95 masks, hygiene kits, emergency medical packs, and other essentials to partner organizations in LA. So that's the whole resource list for those living in LA and for those affected by the fires. Make sure you check that out. Link is in our bio and Instagram at ANTIPODWISE, same name of the podcast. And yeah, and then for those that want to help, the list of orgs can also be found in the link in our bio. I know one of my mutuals, Ian Cabrera, is working with the National Guard to make sure that everyone stays safe. Thank you for your service. And then I know some people are, working with those orgs that I mentioned as well. So thank you for your service as well. I want to touch on another topic. I know that, the LA fires are, kind of like in the first week of 2025. And, this got me wondering, what if 2025 is over? And again, I'm not qualified to speak, so my perspective might be a little bit different to those that have lost everything. And I just want to reiterate that, like it's valid to feel, sad that you lost everything, and to say that, you can always rebuild or you can always replace like material items. I don't think that's the time to really say that here. So I just want to say that I'm sorry for what you guys are going through. Um, I believe that, you guys can get through this and we can all get through this stronger. And, just because it happened in the first week of 2025, that doesn't mean that 2025 is over. I saw a post for something similar with the George Floyd protest in 2020. And, while, I don't want to compare the two, I just want to say that it said, what if 2020 is not the end? What if 2020 is a year, so uncomfortable that it forces us to grow? And I believe I said this in, episode 3, that 2025 is still our year. And, because you probably lost everything in the LA fires. So, it's understandable that that you guys are saying, oh, like 2025, is not your year anymore, that, it's over. And those feelings are valid. And I'm not here to invalidate them because, obviously, like, my current situation, cannot compare to, what you guys are experiencing right now. I just want to preface that, no matter what happens, we're always going to come back stronger. It may not be, today, it might not be overnight, but, what's really, a blessing in this situation is how, it brought communities together. I'm not saying the fire was a good thing because obviously it's bad, but I'm saying that, this fire did, if anything, was, bring the community together and show, just, how many people, still have the humanity to, help those in need. And honestly, like, even if, 2025, doesn't go the way as planned, and it Honestly, even for me, it didn't go the way as planned because, I expected this month to be the best month ever, but obviously the LA fires just happened and I have some friends in LA that are affected by it. But, like even if 2025 doesn't go as expected, I just want to, reiterate that we're always going to come back stronger and, we're going to come back, more united than ever. And, you know, no matter what happens, like, and I will say this now, like, like, we can always, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, if the best way to say this. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this because I know that, you guys, it may be harder to rebuild than some, but eventually, like, we're all going to come back together and, we're going to be rebuilt and we're going to be stronger than ever. And no matter what happens, no matter, the calamities that, no matter the calamities that we're facing, like, I don't know what to say. Like, just know that, like, we're a species that, tends to, like, rise from the ashes, if that makes sense. You know, no matter what calamities we may be facing. And, if that's all I'm going to say, because um, if that's all, if that's all that I can think of, then, that's all that I can think of. But I just want to dedicate this episode to you guys. And, I hope that I can continue using my platform to spread awareness of these issues. And even if it means, pushing episodes back, what's more important is spreading awareness and, trying to help in, any way that I can. So, with that, I'm going to close off right here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And, to all those that are living in LA, I stand with you. And no matter what happens, we will come back stronger. We will come back prouder. We will come back louder. You name it. And yeah, it's been real. I will see you guys in episode 4. And yeah,